Today's podcast is brought to you by Behind the Deck with Kevin Scott, available on all your major podcast platforms.
Okay.
That's it.
Good morning.
It is Monday morning. Isn't it anagram the same word? Like a word forward is the same as the word backwards, like NASCAR.
Anagram. Yeah, I think an anagram, it's just a word jumble. Like the letters could be in any order.
Oh, that's right. Well, whatever that forward backwards thing is. We haven't talked about the weather enough, but that is today. The low today, 37. High is 73.
Oh, yeah. There is a word for that. Not for the numbers, but for letters, like auto or like OTTO or Anna, like you said, or
something.
Yeah. I can't remember.
And that's it. That's all there is.
I wasn't expecting a quiz on a Monday morning, Brad.
Always good to be on your toes. Always got to be on your toes. How was your trip? Was it lovely?
It was good. I commented to my wife on the drive that it felt weird, which it did going to DC earlier as well, and she agreed. And then going there was actually like a nice slice of normal. You know, she got to spend a couple of days with her parents, and I hung out with my friends. I went to a couple of places, that I like to go, and it's like you can see, these places on my Google timeline. Like last year, it was like I don't remember the exact months anymore, but it was May, August, September, December. A year went by, and then you know what I mean? So it was kind of interesting. Just, it felt normal by the end of it.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's going to go for people as we get out in the world. It's going to be weird, a little scary at first,
Mm-hmm.
But, it seems like Massachusetts is doing in Rhode Island too, kind of a decent job with masks and distancing and whatnot.
Who would have guessed masks in Massachusetts? Like it's almost in the name. Almost.
Mm-hmm. Massachusetts. Yeah.
Massachusetts. Better than the usual Massachusetts name that most people get called.
I used to think of Massachusetts as Taxachusetts, and then of course I moved to Pennsylvania. The property taxes here are approximately twice as much. So much for that little theory.
See what happens, folks, when you get out into the world, you realize all your preconceived notions were wrong.
Sure. That's
the point of travel. So, I got my number 2 on Friday. That was fun.
Nice. Very good.
Glad that's behind. Really was just like one day of feeling like you got ran over by a bus.
Yeah. So you did experience. Which version did you get?
The Pfizer.
Yeah. So same thing. Yeah, I was destroyed the second day.
But so Saturday was like a complete write-off. Sunday I was like 90%. Like, I mean, I cut the grass, washed the car. Today, I'm pretty much back to...
Yeah. It's almost like a hangover. It just feels sluggish and weird feeling. And
I think that's it's a hangover without the enjoyment of the first half.
Right. There was nothing good on the front end of it, but lots of pain regardless.
Speaking of not lots of pain, I don't know. That was a terrible transition. Apple announced today that they will spend $1 billion to open a 3,000 employee campus in North Carolina. They are assuming, Paul, you are going to buy at least 3 iMacs.
I think they did it just to screw with Epic Games because that's where they're located. Right? It's like, oh, you think Tim Sweeney, is investing a lot in the state? Well, here we are.
Man. I mean, imagine that is like the biggest FU in history. It's like, you know what? Fine. We'll take you to court. We're going to steal all of your employees. Here's a campus right next to yours. Here's all the people that we're just going to steal. That's fine.
There's an even bigger announcement from Apple that I just set aside the tab for here so I can write this up after we're done. But they also announced a $450 billion investment in the United States over the next, $430 billion over the next 5 years. Now, that's not new money. They had an original goal for 5 years of 350. So now they're raising that commitment by 20%. But they want to start having possibly even manufacturing happen in the United States. I think we can all agree that's never going to happen, guys. But whatever.
You joke, but if there's one company that could feasibly do it,
you said that, but they've already failed, right? Remember, there was a big
Texas.
Yep, they were going to do, and of course it got watered down over time. Like, oh, it's just Mac Pros, which they sell like 3 of a month or something, and then they couldn't even do that. Like,
Yeah.
it's just we just the pay is just too high in this country for this to make sense competitively with the rest of the world.
Yeah, where my head went was with chip manufacturing, because that's a relatively low. I mean, it's an automated process, so it's
Well, yes, okay, fair enough. But I mean, but the economics are there. I mean,
yeah,
if China's too expensive for you, you know, Vietnam is there,
right.
India, soon Africa will probably be on the table.
Hmm.
But I think a lot of the money that Apple's going to spend in the United States, if you think about everything else that goes on in Apple's supply chain and data centers, um, even like Apple TV Plus shows, right, which will be filmed in the United States in various
Hmm.
places, and I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's there's a lot more to Apple than just manufacturing chips.
Yeah, Apple's also, are they rolling out 14.5 this week? Because there's a lot of
Today.
Facebook is real today.
Yep.
Isn't that the update
It
that
is.
enables if you have your watch too?
Oh, I'm not sure about the watch bit, but this is the one where you get the pop up.
Yeah.
This app would like to track you outside of the app, and you can say no to it.
I think this is the one that enables too that if you have a watch on and it's
Mm-hmm.
authenticated to you, whatever, and
You'll
you
do
have a
it on watch.
mask, then your phone will be unlocked automatically with it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I thought that was already out. No.
No, I don't think so. And let me put it this way: if it is, it's not working on my two
Yeah.
antiquated
Yeah.
devices. This is where I'm going to find out that I need an iPhone from like last year and an iWatch from this year, and then I'm just going to scream into the void.
And then spend $1,500.
And you're damn right. While I'm picking up my new remotes, Paul.
Right, right. When can I buy that? I want to buy one of
You're
those.
gonna be the first person to go in there and buy $750 worth of remotes and just walk out like holding them, be like, "This is
Well,
great." Like,
won't be the first actually, but
no, probably not.
yeah, why can't you? It's weird when you go to the page, it doesn't even say when you can get. Yeah, it's just grayed out. Currently unavailable.
Hmm.
Oh, here I'm sorry, it does say available. Order 4:30. So that's in what, 4 days?
That's a
Friday.
little different for Apple. Usually, it's here's the product. Well, I guess
Pre-order
maybe
now.
not.
Well, they
iPhones are
usually
usually
do pre-order now,
yeah.
right? Usually. This time, a lot of the stuff they actually, now that I'm looking at this, I think a lot of the things they announced were available for order on 4:30, and then would be available for purchase second half of May. Which, by the way, itself is vague. They're usually
Mm.
very, here's the date, and maybe this is part of that chipset problem we're
I
experiencing.
was I was just thinking that too. I wonder if this is tied into that greater just getting
Yeah.
stuff is a challenge. So, if you want to get some good stuff into your brain, you should check out Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott. This week, we are highlighting the episode with Charlie Struss, an award-winning sci-fi author, mixing it up a little bit here. But I know a lot of people who listen to this, or more than likely any of these podcasts, probably like a little bit of sci-fi as well. So you can check out that episode. There'll be links in the description. But if you're not familiar with Kevin Scott, he is the Chief Technology Officer over at Microsoft. And you can find Behind the Tech on all the major podcast platforms. Just go give it a search, give it a find, or just click the links in the podcast post and take you.
By the way, so over the weekend, I
Mm-hmm.
belatedly got access to that Xbox cloud gaming beta, right?
Oh, yeah.
On iOS, iPad OS, and Windows, right? Now, I was away, so I didn't have like a controller with me, but I thought, well, that's okay. I'll bring it up and see what it looks like. And then there's a small handful of games, probably less than 10 or 12, but some number of games that have touch controls.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're using a phone or a tablet, or a tablet or 2-in-1 Windows PC, right, where you can actually hold the screen and touch the screen, you can use these on-screen controls. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Right now, this is not going to be good for a game like Fortnite, or
Right.
I don't think Fortnite's in the collection, but whatever, because of the fast action. I think it would be untenable. But I thought, well, there are going to be games that I can play, that are slow moving, that might make sense. And so I tried 2 of them. I've already forgotten the name of the first. So there was a launch title, launch title from last year's Xbox launch, which is just about a brother and a sister, and they're going back to their childhood home, which I played part of, and so I tried that briefly. And then I also restarted The Walking Dead, that Telltale series, the first one, which I finished, many years ago. And I got to say, it's unplayable. It doesn't work. And the problem is not latency. It's just I don't know what to call it, the accurate, not accuracy, but the sensitivity, I guess, of the controls.
Yep.
So like even in a slow moving game where, if maybe it's two characters talking and you have to choose one of the four colored buttons to have a response, that's easy. That works fine. But there's two, obviously, two thumbsticks, and then there's the four pointed thing, whatever. In these games, you have to use one of them to mouse over essentially an item so you can select it and do something.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
Horribly inaccurate. So you do this thing where you overshoot it, you overshoot it, you overshoot it, and then a zombie ate you. In the case of The Walking Dead, it just doesn't work. Like it's impossible to pinpoint it. Where it needs to be. It's kind of ham-handed feeling, or I'm not sure, inaccurate. I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. And that's
yeah. You have to do it. It works well with specific games like platformer games, like Ori.
Where it's up, down, or something. You're just running in one direction.
It works well with games like Ori or like Minecraft Dungeons, but like I tried to play Gears of War. No,
it's
way. Impossible.
No way. Yeah, I feel yes. If you're just smashing buttons, that should work fine based on what I've seen. But yeah, if you have to select anything, I mean, it's aggravating. It's a slow moving game. You can see like a gun on the ground. Maybe you might have to pick it up, and you're like, it's right in the middle. Oh, wait, come back. I mean, it's stupid. It's just, I don't know. So I don't know if that's something they can fix.
Yeah.
Or you just try a controller, right? So I have not done that yet. I'm going to do that this morning.
The controller helps some, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's where it'll make games again like those platformers much better. But I'm not a huge fan of the on-screen controls. Like technically it works, but like half your hands over the display of what you're trying to play.
That's absolutely a problem. So the bigger, like on an iPad, it's a little better in the sense that you have more space to see it, and the controls are tiny. But yeah, it just doesn't. I don't feel like this is an age thing. Like I don't think a teenager would pick this up and be like, "Oh, this is fine." I really think maybe it's something you can tweak, or Microsoft can fix or something. I don't know.
Yep,
but
it's that last 10%.
Yep.
Which makes you wonder. Well, this thing has more dust on it because I don't use it too often. If they're ever going to come out with like a true Wi-Fi, like direct connected controller, which again, it's not going to make it perfect, but you're going to chip away at that last 10%.
They weren't perfect, but Stadia and even more so Luna, which is weird, the Amazon service. I thought the controller performance or reliability, whatever you want to call it, was good. Good to great, like depending on the game, depending on the service. But
have you tried it in the browser yet?
Luna, I think, was a native client, but Stadia, I think I've only tried it in a browser, right?
Yeah.
I think it's browser-based.
What about Have you tried the Xbox yet?
In the browser. Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like,
I thought you were trying it on your phone.
No, I only did it on my iPad and my computer.
Gotcha. Okay.
At first, I just wanted to bring up a game and just kind of see what that looked like. Just like how long does it take? Like I'm like, I want to start this game. What does that look like? It takes a little while. There's the rocket ship thing going by, and I didn't try to. I really, the truth is, I just can't play games like this on a phone. And you mentioned Gears of War. That's a great example because I tried that exact game, the new whatever, the Gears of War 5 or whatever, back when the service launched on Android, and I can't. It's just too small. It's literally like a well, I don't know if it's really 4K. Let's probably call it a 1080p Xbox One game, but shrunk down to like a screen like this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't. I just can't. There'll be like subtitles with the words they're saying, and it's just like a 1 point, thing. It's to me, I just can't. I'm sure a child or a younger person could, but I just can't see the screen well enough to play like that. So I've been excited for this to expand. I don't have an Android tablet. Well, I guess I could try it on a Chromebook actually, but I really just want to play this on Windows. I think, or on an iPad. I think that bigger screen is going to help, and in assuming the service works, like this could be the way I play video games going forward. Except that now that with the touch screen, with the touch controls, it's like, oh my god, this is really not good. So I don't know. We'll get there.
What I just heard you say is that everyone needs to go out and buy an iPad because that will then fund Apple's $300 billion North Carolina thing. And we have come full circle, which means it's time to check out Behind the Tech with Kevin Scott, and we will be back tomorrow. tomorrow.